On February 1986, a legend was born. The Legend of Zelda. Hello guys, my name is Vintage J, and today I'm going to be playing the first game of the Green Suit Hero. No, not you. No one likes you. As I was saying, Green Suit Hero Link. Before Zelda looked like this, it looked like this. Zelda 1 was released in Japan on February 1986 for the Famicom Disk System, and was later released August of 1987 on the Nintendo Entertainment System. Now let's get into the game itself. The game starts you off near an opening in a wall. You go in the door and grab a wooden sword from an old man. Once you have obtained the sword, you can head to the first level / dungeon. The first dungeon is pretty simple to get through, as the enemies are pretty easy to defeat. Every dungeon has a special item in it. This one I got a bow, and I also obtained a boomerang, which will help a lot on the adventure. The dungeon boss is Aquamentus, a green dragon. Killing him will grant you the first piece of the Triforce. Once you have obtained all 8 pieces of the Triforce, you can enter the last dungeon, Death Mountain. After beating the first dungeon, I decided to get more heart containers for the journey. I first bought a candle from a shop and burnt a bush to unlock the staircase to a heart container. I then bombed a boulder and got another heart. Once I got those, I was able to grab the white sword, which does more damage. The second dungeon was a little more challenging than the first one. The dungeon's treasure was a blue boomerang, but I forgot to get footage of that, my bad. The dungeon's boss is a dinosaur-like creature, the Dongo. The mechanic of this boss is pretty simple. Put a bomb on it and then hit him with your sword. And second Triforce piece collected. After leaving the dungeon, I found an old man who gave me a letter for an old lady. I gave it to the old lady, and she agreed to start selling me medicine. Level 3 had some of the most annoying enemies, Dark Nuts. I got a raft from this dungeon, which will come in handy later. The third dungeon's boss, Manhandla, can be killed simply by putting the bombs in the middle of it or hitting it with your sword on each of the heads. Third Triforce obtained. The fourth dungeon had many bat-based enemies. The dungeon's treasure was a stepladder, which allows you to get across different areas. The dungeon's boss, named Gilok, a two-headed dragon, was defeated by hitting both of its heads until it's dead. Fourth piece acquired. After that, I found the power bracelet hidden under a armor. Got some rubies to afford the blue ring, which will give you more protection from enemy attacks. If you have enough hearts, then you can get the magical sword from the old man. Decided to buy some arrows for the upcoming dungeons. Dungeon 5 wasn't too difficult. The dungeon had a lot of mummy-looking guys called Gibdos. I stumbled upon this room where an old man offered to give me more bombs for 100 rubies. I accepted his offer, and now could hold more bombs. The dungeon's treasure was a recorder, which will come in handy later. The boss, the dogger, was killed easily with the recorder. Fifth piece is obtained. Level 6 was really challenging, thanks to these Where'sbro guys. The dungeon's treasure was a magic wand, which allows you to shoot magic at enemies. The boss is a crab creature known as Goma. He is defeated easily with one arrow shot into his eyes. Sixth piece obtained. I bought enemy bait for the next dungeon, cause it will come in handy. Level 7 was a breeze to get through, thanks to the upgraded gear and the enemies who were seen from previous dungeons. I found a hungry Goriah blocking my path. I gave him the enemy bait I bought earlier, and he let me pass. The dungeon's treasure was kinda boring. It was just an upgrade to my candle. The boss was just another Aquamentus from the first dungeon. One more piece after this, and then we got the whole Triforce. The 8th dungeon was really difficult to traverse with its enemy selection. This dungeon had 2 treasures: the Book of Magic, which lets you shoot fire with your magic wand. The second treasure is the magical key. The magical key gives you infinite keys. The dungeon's boss was another Gilok with 4 heads. He was taken up by hitting each of his heads twice. Boom! We got all the pieces of the Triforce. Level 9 was the hardest of all the levels. Not only were the enemies difficult, the level was very tricky to traverse through. This level has 2 treasures. The red ring, which gives the player more defense, and the silver arrows, which is necessary to beat up the dungeon's upcoming boss. Trying to find the boss room was a tricky task. Even with a video guide, I got lost. The boss is Ganon, the main villain of the Zelda franchise. To defeat him, you must try to hit him with your sword while he's invisible. Once you hit him enough, he gets sunburned, and you deal the final blow with the silver arrows. And boom! He's defeated. Grab the Triforce of Power and head in the room. And Link saved Zelda and saved Hyrule. This game was the start of a wonderful game series. The Legend of Zelda is a great classic that I highly recommend playing if you're a big fan of Zelda or just a big fan of retro games. Thanks for going on this journey to visit the game that started the legend. Have a good one.